Changing out the door handle on 2014 Mercedes C250. Issue is the handle just stopped working. So you're gonna need a fastener, door panel popper, magnetic tool, 10mm, a T10, a T30, Torx for your drill, and a Dremel with a little cutting wheel, and that should do it. So you can replace your door handle on the Mercedes C250. Down, and we're gonna get a pry tool and pry this plastic out to the side carefully. Take your time. Plastic pry tool, insert it right here, and then just carefully slide it up till everything comes out. Start pushing it this way, and that's all we need right there, so we can have access to this piece right here. Right here, you want to use like a panel popper and just start prying it. Just be careful not to break it like I just did, but it's okay. Unfortunately, this one I wasn't able to take it out without breaking it, but you can get those for cheap at the dealer. I'm gonna take this piece out over here, and this will just come right out. The edge out, but I want to carefully take out. Ooh, that's done. So we're gonna have to replace that. Taking this piece out, you want to just take this edge out and then pop out. That way you can release these two clips. And be careful not to break it, because these plastics are really brittle. So I'm gonna have to glue this back on right here. Shouldn't be a problem. It's not a big deal, I don't think. Idea to take your time. I'm kind of rushing it, so if you take your time, you won't have issues like this or this. This is a 2014. It's 6 years old. This is sun-baked. This is brittle. So just be careful. I'm gonna use a T30. And take one off there and one off over here. Two T30 screws out, and of course get this out, this out. Now you're gonna use a pry tool to get in here on the edge, in the corner, and you can start working your way to pop this panel off. The other side, try to get in. That was my panel. Oh no, that was a fastener. So once you get it all out, loosen it all up from all the edges, we're gonna just start pushing it up, sliding it up, and there it goes. Here, the door handle. Just gonna slide this out, and this is what we're working with right here. Pick, and you want to start taking these clips off. That way we can have the panel replacement. I can tell that there's a pin that goes right here, so we need to get this piece off. Taking out these 10 mils. That will release this trim over here. So once you release those 10 mils, make sure you keep them at a spot all together. It's a total of 5. Remove this trim panel right here, this trim piece. Now we gotta take this out, this piece. So to get that out, remove this here. Now I do want to mention, be very careful with this, because this will break very easily. Go ahead and remove this carefully, because this piece right here is very fragile, very easy to break. So we're just going to detach it. Remove this piece as well. That way I could see what's going on and see how to remove this piece. I need to get to the back of it to remove these two little Torx over here. Set these right here. I have a table, that way you could place the panel right up top. And the next thing we're gonna have to do is remove these, either grind them off with a Dremel, grinding these things off one by one, and then start prying back so we can get to the pin. Let's get started. Careful with the cable. Alright, so we got a couple off. I'm going to start prying a little bit to see where it's gone. Pushing down. Looks like we still need to get these off, but this one's loose. These over here still need a little more. Take this out of the way. So we don't have any accidents. I'm able to push this out like this, but it looks like this piece needs to come out. So I'm gonna have to remove these white plastics. Now we got all these plastics grinded off. Now we can remove this slowly. Oh, we still got one more right there. Two more actually. Start separating everything little by little. Now we got these pieces separated. We might have some access to that pin in the bottom. Access to the pin right here. Just right there. We're gonna have to remove that pin out, and now we can replace it. Before I got about this whole piece loose, I think I'm going to loosen these up too, that way I can pry it out a little more and be able to work with it. I don't know if I want to do the whole thing. I got these. I was able to just loosen this up, and I might be able to just remove this piece so I can work with it on the bench. The only thing I have left is these two to notch off, and it should let me just remove this piece so I can work on it separately from the panel. Let me just remove the piece by itself. Just carefully pry on it. There you go. And now I can take this piece off. This is what I wanted. This piece by itself. Now we can remove this pin down here, this one right there. At our new piece, it looks like it goes in pressured. So let's see if we can figure out how to take it out. Figure out a way to take this piece out from here. So I'm just going to go ahead and drill it out slowly. It actually came out, kind of pushed in, drill it in. A little pilot hole. Up doing, drilled the pilot hole, screwed in a screw, and with some pliers just pulled it out, and this is how I was able to remove this pin out. We can take this out, get our replacement part, carefully put it in, insert the new pin inside to keep it stuck in there. Let's see how we're gonna put that in there. Oop, just broke it. The original pin back in there, because that one looks a lot sturdier. Doesn't want to go in. Better to just put it like this and you just start smacking it down. And there you go. It's already going in. Original pin. The other one I didn't use because it broke pretty easily. And looks like we're good. We got that piece on there that broke off. Just gotta put it all back together, and we're gonna use some screws that the kit came with. All these screws with washers, and put them in place where the plastics were melted. This goes in like this. Carefully put it in there. There we go, just like that. Press everything back in its place. Make sure everything is back where it should be. I start by putting these T10 torque screws back in, the ones that I had taken off. And that sound was just this clipping on. So there you go. Don't over tighten them. Now we're gonna do all these all across with the washers ready to go, so I can just grab them and just put them everywhere that I grinded down the plastic. Not all the plastics are gonna grab very well, just because they're so thin and the screw is a little thicker. But all these white ones will grab no problem. For example, no problem. all these white ones, they're gonna grab, no problem. That should be enough. Boom, no problem. If you have an impact, once it clicks, just let it go. Well, this one should grab. It's a nice white one right there. This one over here should grab as well. Have all the screws back in where we grinded down the plastic. Now we're gonna carefully put these pieces back in. The ones that I didn't want to break. It goes like that. I was trying to put it the other way, but it actually goes like that. And there you go, snapped in. Carefully without bending the other piece. Fastener back in. Right there. And make sure we have all the other fasteners in a spot. Missing one right there. Fasteners get stuck, so you want to get your panel popper and just kind of twist it off to the side like that. And just put it back in where it belongs. Wood grain panels back in. Wood grain pieces. This should snap back on. Snap back on. This one's the one that we need the 10 mils on the other side. Everything's looking good. 10 mils on top, and then we're going to come back with the drill. We're just going to hand tighten them for now. The one on the right has one, and you don't want to over tighten these, just gotta reach the bottom and that's it. Do the steps in reverse that we originally did. Plug these back in, color coded, red dot, blue goes to blue dot. And don't forget to put this, oh, we got to take this off. This is off the old one that broke off, so we're going to have to remove that. So I just squeezed these two. The top little piece broke off, but squeeze these two, and this thing came right out. We're going to use that for the new one. So now we're going to squeeze this back in on the new one. There it goes. We're going to put this like that, and we're ready to put it from top to bottom. Make sure this goes in first. Our lock in first. And now we can start the forward. Get this channel into this. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure that we get this edge out of the way. Just like in the beginning, the first thing we did. Get this out of the way. Now we can work on getting that in there, and now work your way to lining up the fasteners. Fasteners, make sure they're in the hole, and the others should line up, and you could just bang them all. That broke off right there. I have plenty of fasteners, so I just got to see which one's going to fit the best, and we'll just use that instead. There you go. Just back in. And now we have this one right here, over here. This one's all nice and put back together, no problem. Carefully, we don't want to break it. We just repaired it, so I'm going to carefully from top, and then the bottom just clips right back in. All the way over. There we go. All this nice and flush. All right. Now we got the two, not least, the T30 torque screws. That's gonna be it. Check it out, make sure everything works. We're good. I'm gonna sand it down a little bit because I got a little bit of a seam with the glue. And once I clean it off, it should look a lot better. What I use is really good glue. It's called Instacure by the Install Bay. This is the best glue you can buy to repair plastics. Throw a little wipe down. And that's how you repair the door handle on a Mercedes.